Let the meltdown begin. MMA Meltdown on the Fight Network. I am Gabriel Morency. Let's do this thing. No rest for the wicked style, man, as the fights are coming at us fast and freaking furious. UFC 189 on Saturday. Sunday night's Ultimate Fighter card that was actually pretty entertaining when it was all said and done. We got a card going on right now as we speak. So we're going to sort of pretend that card doesn't exist. Joey Odessa is going to join me later on. We're going to break down Fight Night 72 from Scotland this Saturday. It's Bisping and Thalas ladies. We've got Ross Pearson taking on Evan Dunham as well. So it's a great time of the year to be a fight fan. But everybody's talking about the big fights, the big card over the weekend. And, of course, we're going to talk about that as I think Mike De La Torre got screwed. That's right, Mike De La Torre got screwed. Come on, Yves. Yves, I've seen NHL referees that let fights go longer than Yves Lavigne has. I understand fighter safety, but I swear to God, Yves Lavigne, you have personally cost me probably about $25,000 now. It's probably a safe estimate as well. I'm not even kidding. I'm starting to dislike you a lot, Yves, but that's besides the point. Odessa's going to join us, and we're now joined by a man that I do like a lot, actually, host of Off the Record, and a giant MMA fan from TSN Television. Michael Landsberg joins us on MMA Meltdown. Michael, it's always a pleasure. How you doing?
Good, great. Last OTR of the season coming up on Friday, so holiday.
I appreciate you joining us right now. I know you're on location, hanging with the bigwigs. You're a big name dropper, right? You're always hanging with guys. Who is it today? Taylor Hall and Drew Doughty?
Yeah, I'm not going to drop any names. Seriously, you're a big name dropper. Go ahead, drop names. I may be a name dropper, but I'm not stupid. So I'm going to say I'm hanging out with my buddy, like Aaron Bronstedter's my buddy. Jacqueline Garfinkel's my buddy. Yeah. These are my peeps. These are the people I'm hanging out with.
Yeah, no, good people. And
I can name drop better than anyone, not because I'm name dropping to get myself over, but very often they got great stories attached to them. I've done 3,700 shows of Off the Record. I got 10,000 people that I've met. I got a story for everything. That on the surface, just when you repeat it, it's good, but when I embellish it, it's like the greatest story ever.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm glad that I could provide you a couple of stories with the appearances on the show and disclaimers and parental advisory warnings. It's good stuff.
Yeah, actually, your not last appearance, but the one before was kind of legendary. You were talking about Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, male, female, whatever it was. And we actually had to take out. We edited, and I think it's like the first time in a couple of years we've done it. It was like your 4-second making reference to him not cutting off his penis. And I just thought, yeah, you know what? As the producer, I'm going to err on the safe side and not put that on the air.
Yeah, I appreciate that. When even I thought it was a little over the top. It's amazing. She's actually getting the award tonight, but let's just stay away from that. We got another hype machine to talk about right now in Conor McGregor. And you have a lot of NHL players on your show. As you said, 3,700 guests. It's a lot of people. You've got a lot of hockey players on, and a lot of hockey guys love the UFC. And, one of the cool things I love about going on your show is meeting the other guests, actually, and I become buddies with Rich Clune, NHL forward Rich Clune. And Rich, a big UFC guy, and he's a huge Conor McGregor fan. And I was telling him Aldo's going to beat him, And then after Saturday night, I was on Twitter after Conor won. I see I'm getting direct messages from Rich Clune. And he's like, stop your hating, man. Still room on the Conor McGregor bandwagon. This guy's the greatest ever. So people are buying in. Are you buying in, Michael?
Yeah, I'm buying in certainly more today than I would have last week at this time. I think he proved a lot. I think he proved that he's got a chin, and that he's a warrior. And that, he's – because he was in a really bad position. And he was getting hammered a lot. And it looked to me like his eye was getting gouged, trying to stick his finger in the cut. But, he let it all roll off his back, and he got up and won the fight. So there's a lot about him that I'm really impressed with. And he survived against a wrestler. So you gotta score him some points. Now, if he faced Aldo 6 months from now, if they agreed right now, who would you take?
Jose Aldo.
Yeah, I probably would too, but now there's something about McGregor that makes you want to go, I don't know how he's going to win, but, maybe he's going to do it. There's something pretty magical about him, I got to say.
He is larger than life, isn't he? It's all about time and place. And Conor McGregor came along at the exact right time somehow, and it's just the right guy in which, he's got the tattoos. He drinks with the fans in the casino after Michael. He takes pictures with everybody. He's sort of like a people's champ. Chael Sonnen, who's become a regular on your show, actually, Chael Sonnen used to annoy me because he would sell the fight, and he would say anything possible to sell the fight, and then after he would sort of give you the wink. I got you to buy it, didn't I? Chuckle, chuckle. Conor isn't giving you the wink after he's ripping the next guy because he wants to do it again. I don't think Chael didn't really believe it, so I respect the fact that Conor actually believes what he's saying.
See, I would agree with all of that, and I think Chael would agree with actually all of that. He told me when I first messaged Chael when we had Conor on the show for the first time, and he was on like 5 times in the last 4 months. And here's a guy that I'd never met before that. And I said to Chael, well, what should I do with him? And he said, man, he is the real deal. Here is a guy who really has it all when it comes to doing an interview. And then the next time I said, what do you think I should ask him? And he said, it doesn't matter what you ask him. He's going to answer the way he wants to answer. And so I would sum him up by saying the last time we had Conor on the show, which was last week, I thought he was the most real that he had been. They weren't sort of packaged answers. You remember the show that we did with Jose Aldo, right? We were all in a hotel room together. That sounds kind of seedy. We were all in a room that was in a hotel together, and it was me and Conor and Dana White and Aldo and his translator, and it was really awkward. It was really awkward. And apparently Dana had to go to his room, Aldo, and beg him to come down because he said, I'm done. I don't want to do anything else with Conor McGregor. But I was sitting with Conor before anybody else had come down, and I'm making small talk with him, and he's not giving me small talk. So I said, hey, I know you as a fighter, but let's talk about life outside of fighting. When you are the greatest, sir, there is no life outside of fighting. I won't even bother with the Irish accent. I said, oh, okay, well, what do you like to do when you're not fighting? He goes, what I like to do is be Conor McGregor, because as Conor McGregor, I am the greatest. So I'm thinking, you can't have a conversation with that guy. But then when we went to New York for the Reebok thing, and I said to him, wow, he seems so much more laid back. We were actually just talking. So I think when he's not packaged, when he's giving you sort of from the heart answers as opposed to from the memory answers, he's amazing.
We've only got a couple of minutes left, unfortunately. Time just flying by on the program tonight. Elias Theodorou's a fighter that's become a regular on your program as well. Bright future ahead of him, and what I like about Elias is he speaks his mind. He speaks his mind on television, but as well online, and he's very fan friendly. He responds to people's tweets. Class act, Elias.
Yeah, he is, and I think he's a guy that likes to be liked too. That some guys want to be the villain. Like Chael wanted to be the villain. If he would rather have gotten an email from a guy saying, I hate your guts. If I ever saw you, I'd stab you in the face. He would rather have gotten that than someone saying, hey, Chael, really respect what you do. But Elias, I think, is the exact opposite. He likes to be a nice guy, which I'm giving him credit. This isn't a bad thing. But, he's friendly to everyone. He goes out of his way for everyone, and he goes out of his way to make it clear that even though he is becoming a big deal in the UFC, even though he's a guy that, has made money from his good looks, he still, I don't feel any arrogance with him at all.
No, that's true. And finally, we got to wrap it up, and we can't wrap it up without talking about another Canadian, Rory MacDonald. Unbelievable, huh? Like what a fight! Freaking bloodbath. 2 warriors in there just giving it their all. Unfortunately, Robbie just had a little bit more to give than Rory did. That's the definition. When somebody says he broke his face, he literally broke his face.
He literally broke his face. And anyone who's criticizing Rory, saying, oh, well, I guess he's not quite the warrior. I mean, at a certain point, no one can go on. And I think he was at that point. I think if you measured from the pay-per-view stuff, the amount of blood that was spilled, ounces of it, it may have been a record.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was splattered. It was like a Geiger painting. It's like somebody took a bunch of brushes and just started spraying it. It was drops everywhere and then clunks of red. It looked like a paint crew was on the set.
The fascinating thing is that the blood really isn't a reflection of an injury. You know, like you turn it on, and if you're not a fan of the sport, if you don't know the sport, you go, "Oh my God, that's terrible. That guy, they got to stop the fight." But you know, a blood on the face doesn't necessarily mean you're hurt bad. What makes you hurt bad is when you get knocked unconscious, or when you take a punch, the way some guys took punches or kicks, like the knee to the head. You know what I'm referring to?
Yeah. No, it was a couple of knees to the head.
There was the one that ended it. And I thought to myself, that's like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like you grab a guy and you get a direct knee to the head. That's bad.
It is bad. Hey, Michael, we got to get out of here. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us. Thanks for the invitations onto your program. Enjoy the time off, and hopefully I'm back on your set, and I look forward to getting you back on this show in the fall as well.
And don't thank me. I thank you. You make the show better.
Hey, thanks for the time, Michael. There's Michael Landsberg with us. We got to get out of here, but can you put that picture up quickly again of Lawler and Rory in the hospital together? Because this picture's the best. Everybody's saying, look at the respect they're showing. Look at the eyes here. Look at the eyes of Robbie Lawler, and look how he's standing there. He's like a guy, standing next to an elephant that he just killed. He's like a hunter next to his prey. He's like, he's got respect for Rory, but look at his face, man. He's just sort of like, yeah, I did this to this guy. He's a bad, bad, bad man. Joey Odessa coming up next.